Hey everybody, Danny Mod here. Thanks for joining us. This week, I want to share with you one of the biggest mistakes I see golfers make when they're trying to improve your swing. I had a gentleman called Phil come and see me. He'd been taking a bit of time out of the game because he's getting very frustrated. He'd been losing his distance, he's losing his strike, and a little bit lost in terms of what was going on. And he kindly allowed me to share some before and after videos of what we did with his swing, and it was pretty remarkable. He came to me with a swing that was, for somebody who'd been a pretty good player at one stage, it was looking really awkward and really uncomfortable, and you know, it just wasn't good. But just 5 minutes into the lesson, we made a complete transformation. And what that showed is that, and it seems well, a lot of golfers have this swing inside them, but they just kind of cover it up with so much information, and they just struggle. And what I want to share with you in this week's training is the frisbee exercise, the frisbee drill, which is basically what we use to kind of transform his swing in just 5 minutes. You'll see in the video that I'm going to share a very awkward looking backswing, a very awkward looking follow through, but with just one exercise, it just completely transforms. So that's what we're going to do this week. Before we do, if this is one of your first videos, consider subscribing. I release content like this every single week to try and help you improve your game. So what's the frisbee drill and how can it help? Well, before we do, let me show you Phil's swing before we got cracking. So if you have a look at his swing, you'll see that, okay, that the setup's not too bad, but then when he takes it back, there's this very steep motion here. The club starts to work and start pointing across the line, and as it comes down, again, very, very steep. It just looks awkward and uncomfortable and not very natural. But you know what? After one exercise using the frisbee drill, it was transformed. So what is the frisbee drill? It's really, really simple. If you imagine taking a frisbee, and what you do is just imagine, in a sense, trying to throw that frisbee as far as you can into the outfield. Simple as this. The mere action of using a frisbee, what does it create? It creates a much better rotation, a better arc in the golf swing. Phil was kind of coming up nice and steep. He was moving around a little bit too much. Things that just wouldn't exist if you were throwing a frisbee. If you throw a frisbee, your body pivots much better. And when it comes through, it also, the hips naturally release and you rotate. So really, really good image. So that's what we did with Phil to start off with. You've got to imagine doing a few of these, and then we built up to then get him to hold it in his lead arm. Now for some of you, this might feel a little bit heavy, so go down the grip a little bit to make it a bit lighter. And then just start to make some swings, not in a sense in a golf fashion. Keep in mind the determination to, in a sense, release that frisbee. You're still imagining a frisbee here, turning it back and through. Turning it back and through. And as soon as we did this, the whole shape of Phil's swing completely transformed. We then obviously needed to move towards putting the trail hand in place. So we did that, so the trail hand comes in, and we try and do the same thing. And still in the thought process of imagining throwing that frisbee out into the outfield, so we're making a swing back and through. And I said to him at this stage, please don't care where the ball goes. Your objective at this stage is simply to imagine, keep in mind that frisbee style action. Now, that is all we did, and it made a massive transformation. It sounds very simple, doesn't it? But the problem what I find with a lot of golfers is this. You know, I think because there's so much information online, I think sometimes we're scared to make a bad move. You know, some people kind of, I don't know if you're the same, but you might think, oh, am I getting this takeaway correct? I'm not sure. Have I got the backswing correct? Again, I'm not really sure. So sometimes we create these disjointed movements, and also we're not very confident with them. But what you can do is simply, again, just go to some things that you can do, you've been putting in for many years, even in your youth. A frisbee action like this is just the most simplest way to create natural pivot, okay, natural arc. And look at this. We talk about sequencing in golf, getting the right sequence right. Would you do this? No, because you're going to throw the frisbee down, right? Would you do this? No, it's going to go up in the air. So naturally it creates this simple motion. That is all we did with Phil, and it made a big, big difference. We used it with a driver. I'll put a little video here just very quickly with a driver showing you the impact with a driver. Still, again, you'll see it's a much better movement. He started to go a little bit, you'll see towards the end at the top of the backswing, go a little bit back, but not much, and we managed to start hitting that much straighter as well. The key with this motion though is this, is build the system in play. Don't rush to hit loads of golf balls. Keep, you know, if you go to driving range and practice, just imagine you're rehearsing it with a couple of, with your left hand or lead hand initially, move to then one-handed golf swings, and then put your trail line in, then hit the golf ball, okay? Don't rush to hit loads and loads of golf balls because you'll lose the feel, the image will disappear, and then you go back to where you were. So a very simple one this week, but so important. I really hope you enjoy this and really give it a go. It's amazing the difference it could make. So if you're enjoying this training, as usual guys, look, consider subscribing and pressing the bell and you'll get notified every single week for these videos when they come up. But until next week, have a great golfing week.